Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Karlyn Henderson, CEO of Poimena Consulting, and I am also the host for LeadHerSuite Podcast. And so I want to thank you all for being here. I am on StreamYard. For those who are on Facebook, you have to give permission to chat with me during our next 20 to 30 minutes on this podcast. So I'm excited that you are all here. And I am excited to talk about a topic that is usually taboo or is considered a male thing. And we want to discuss some of those myths and do some myth busting and talk about the 3 reasons why women leaders should embrace and develop the executive skill of power. Yes, power. We want to talk about power today. And so with that, I want to share my screen. And we want to talk about the topic being powerful beyond measure. Being powerful beyond measure. So what type of women need power? And I was thinking about this. I am an executive and leadership coach. And I thought about the women who are working in male-dominated industries, are women who are the only woman within her team, a woman leader who is a senior manager or a director or a vice president who has mega management responsibilities, women leaders who are in positions with new demands upon them and they need to have power in order to lead effectively. Women leaders who must obtain the cooperation of other managers whom with they have no authority over, but still need to work with them in order to achieve and exceed company goals, whether they are in corporate America or an entrepreneur. All of these women have something in common, and they all need power to be effective and to be prominent within their leadership role. But often women don't have power, and we wonder why they don't. And so I wanted to talk about power today and talk about why it is so important for you to have power in order for you to be effective in your leadership role. So the number one reason that women need power is because power creates leverage. Power creates leverage. Power gives you the opportunity to help people. And if used as a strategy, power can help fulfill your professional and personal visions. Yes, power can be used professionally and personally to achieve your goals and to achieve and to exceed your goals as well. Are your beliefs around power hindering your success? Because often people think about power as if I have power, then that means I'm greedy. Or if the power is only for the rich and the famous. Power is or can make you feel bad or look bad. And as a leader, and especially a woman leader, I don't want to look bad. I don't want to come across as someone who is greedy or someone who is bad. Power also can, some people think of power as being corrupt, that you are a corrupt individual. And all of these myths are incorrect. And we're going to bust this myth around really what is power and how we can move forward. Power is not for the rich and famous. Power does not make you a bad person. Power is not about being corrupt. Power is not about being evil. But we want to discuss what power is. So let's look at that. And we want to look at 2 terms, which powerlessness and powerful, or being power, having power. And often women who I talk to and coach, they often look at power and they say, well, if I am not powerful, then more than likely I'm powerless. And so we want to look at those two terms so we can define what is power, what is powerlessness, and how do you get power. So power is a multifaceted concept. Some people experience a sense of power when they feel in control of their life. Others experience power when they have control over other people's lives. And that is not power, that's manipulation. However, power is not about exerting force over someone else. Power is the ability for a person to influence others to bring about a specific desired result. Power, the ability for leaders to wisely influence the attitudes and the behaviors of others to bring about a win-win situation and a win-win results to achieve goals. That's my personal definition of power, and I'll repeat that. The ability for leaders to wisely influence the attitudes and the behaviors of others to bring about win-win results and achieve goals. So if we know what power is, what is powerlessness? So powerlessness is the lack of the ability to influence, to have resources, or to have power. When a woman in leadership is powerless, they are limited in their resources. They are limited and are literally void of their influence. And they are limited in the resources needed to bring about change in their career and or their life. That is powerlessness. Powerlessness is when people feel powerlessness and they usually adapt to abuse versus using real power. So we discover what is powerlessness, the lack of the ability to influence, to have resources, or to have power itself. Some of the powerless patterns of thinking, if you're wondering, well, am I powerless? Here are some of the thoughts that you may be thinking. All or nothing, black or white, seeing only the extremes of a situation. That's powerlessness. Overgeneralizing, making broad generalizations about without little or no evidence. So like every time someone does this, or every time this happens, or everyone does this. Those are powerlessness thoughts that people have, and that is not a way of thinking around power. Jumping to conclusions is another way that you can walk in powerlessness. Making quick negative assumptions. Well, I guess no one wants to be part of the meeting today, so this is an example of powerlessness, and thinking the way you think can be powerless. And so today I want to bring these ideas or these concepts to your mind to make you think like, wow, do I operate in powerlessness versus power? And so that's really important for you to think upon and look at. So let's look at power. Now that we discover what powerlessness is. Power is the ability for the leader to wisely influence the attitudes and the behaviors of others to bring about win-win results and achieve goals. That is the definition that I have for power. Power is the ability for a leader to wisely influence the attitude and the behaviors of others in order to bring about win-win situations and results and achieve goals. So if we're looking at power, we want to re-look at those myths around power. Power corrupts you. Power is evil, therefore you must be evil. Seeking power for yourself makes you an evil or a bad person. None of these are true. That is not power. Power is the ability for a leader to wisely influence the attitudes and the behaviors of others to bring about win-win results and to achieve goals. Reason number 2 as to why we need power. Because today we're talking about the 3 reasons why women should pursue and develop power. So reason number 2, because of the real meaning of owning your power is useless. I have often heard people say, own your power. Well, if you don't know what power is, more than likely you're walking in manipulation. And that's abuse. And we don't advocate for abuse or manipulation. So it's so much more to the dynamic of power than to just own your power. That's useless. What we want to tell people is to embrace your power, to embrace what is power and how to move forward in it. So let's talk about personal power and how you can own your personal power. There's 7 types of power that I usually share. And those 7 types of power are legitimate power, reward, coercive, reverent, expert, connection, and spiritual. Those are the 7 types of power. But the 3 types of personal power that we want to review quickly today include expert power, connection power, and spiritual power, or charisma power, as some people normally call it. So expert power is the influence that comes from developing and communication your specialized knowledge, your talent, your skills, and your experiences regarding tasks performed. Should be used to your advantage. Only works if others are aware of your expertise, and others can comply because they will respect your expertise. So when you are an expert, like I am an expert in leadership development and team building and mental toughness, those are my levels of expertise. And when you utilize your power as an expert, people will gravitate towards you because they need your expertise. Give you an example of expert power. So expert power can include when your car breaks down and you need an expert to fix it. So you need that expertise that expert has to fix your car. That is power. Having the power of expertise or being an expert. The next type of power we want to talk about is charisma power. The influence that is generated by a leader's style, their personality, their characteristics that commands followers' identification, respect, and admiration. So people follow you as a result of this type of power simply because you are charismatic. And that is so important for you to understand and know and to look at. When you are a charismatic person, you want to use this power to draw people for good. People like you, they respect you, they admire you, they trust you. That way you can influence them towards better goals and to achieve the goals that you want to have about. The next power is spiritual power. This is a power that usually is not talked about. And this power is the manifestation power and of the presence of the Spirit of God to do his work in a specific situation placed upon a specific believer. This type of power usually is not talked about in the corporate settings or in entrepreneurship, but it is a power that is really required in order to have success. Completed dependence upon God, asking God for his will for us through his Holy Spirit each and every day. This type of power is important. So we want to talk about reason number 3 3 reasons why you need, as a woman leader, the power to develop and to embrace power. Get my notes here. So the third reason is to make your voice be heard. I have coached and worked with lots of women leaders, and they often come to me and said that they can sit in meetings, which I have experienced myself, and they are not heard. And so when you use your power in the correct way to influence others, to ensure that people are able to hear what you have to say, to influence your clients as an entrepreneur, to influence your team, that is a reason why you need power, so that your voice can be heard, to speak up, to ask for what you need and for what you want, to get what you deserve out of life. Of course, not at the expense of someone else that's hurt and that's abuse. That would be abuse. But for you to own your space in the world as a woman who owns her power. So, do we have any questions from anyone who is on the live streams? Any comments that someone may have as a result of understanding the 3 reasons why you need power? And I'll just take a moment to look at the comments here and see if anyone has any questions. I don't see any questions right now. I must have been very thorough. So if you want to learn more about power, I am the CEO of Poimena Consulting, and I work with women leaders to help them develop their power. I help them to understand really what is power and how they can move forward in their professional and personal lives around power. So I have a free complimentary assessment evaluation that you can take if you're interested. And you can go to, now I put this across the screen, bit.ly, bit.ly/be powerful. That's bit.ly, be powerful. There's a complimentary assessment that you can take, understanding what is power, how are you using power, if you are using power, maybe you are feeling powerlessness in your leadership role, whether you are in corporate America or if you are an entrepreneur. How do I move forward with power? How have I worked with power in the past? How have I experienced power in the past? These are a few questions that I ask in the evaluation. Afterwards, you can set up a complimentary 30-minute session with me talking about power and how I can help you in your leadership role, whether you are in corporate America or an entrepreneur. Hey, I'm Karlyn D. Henderson. I am the CEO of Poimena Consulting, and I want to share with you that it has been my pleasure to share with you about power and powerlessness and how that could potentially help you succeed in your leadership role. If you want to learn more about power, you can visit my website at www.poimena.com. That's POIMENA.com to learn more about Poimena and the leadership offerings and services that we provide to our clients. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to the LeadHerSuite Podcast, LeadHerSuite Podcast, and we will post this on Facebook. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to put those questions out there and I will respond accordingly. Thank you and have a great day.